Microphone ready, Minky ready. Let's go. Wrong hand. Right, my loves. I want to talk to you today. It's not a channel update. This is a serious video about getting stoned. I want to tell you my experiences with cannabis. I want to talk about cannabis for pain relief. What my experience has been. Now, I've been in pain for 14 years. And when I say I've been in pain, I've been in agony for probably 10 years. But I've been in pain, serious pain, for 14 years. I broke my back in 2005. Broke it in 3 places during a hurricane in Mexico. What I want to do is I want to explain to you how pain works. Let me just tell you. So you've got 3 types of pain. That's 4. 3. I'm not stoned, but I can't get that finger down. So go like that. 3 types of pain. There's nociceptive, which is the type of pain when if you have an injury. So if you cut your arm and it swells up, you know, when it's repairing, it gets all swollen and stuff. That's nociceptive pain. You have neuropathic, which is where you've got nerve damage, pinched nerves, trapped nerves, things like that. There's another type of pain, which is kind of, I think they call it like central pain, something like that. Things like fibromyalgia. Now, a friend of mine is a nurse, and she told me that if they get a doctor, if they get somebody that comes in to the hospital saying they've got fibromyalgia, they think, crazy. And I think that's unfair. I don't think that myself. Pain is real to whoever's in pain. All right, my pain is worse than yours. Your pain is worse than mine because it's affecting you. So whatever's wrong with you, it's hurting you more than my pain is hurting you, isn't it? I'll tell you why I say that. It's because I've been on forums in the past talking about pain, and it's just a competition about who's the most injured and who's in the most pain and living with the most pain and who's the most depressed. If you've come to this video because you've done a search and it's come up or something, you probably know the types. Reach out to tell somebody how you're feeling, and you get their whole life story about how much pain they're in. You can imagine that in that time, I've taken a lot of painkillers. The basic types, I've had paracetamols, and they don't do anything. They then move you up to things like cocodamol, which is like a codeine and a paracetamol. The codeine is, so I think they start you with about 8 milligrams, goes up to 30. I think I had more than that once, I'm not sure. If that isn't working or it doesn't seem to block the pain or isn't very effective, they'll take you onto a tramadol, and which is an opioid based. And if those opioid based, there's one with a K which is strong. I can't remember the name of it now. But they'll try you with like ibuprofen, which is like diclofenac and Nurofen and things like those tablets. And then you'll be on strong opioid based tablets, or even things like gabapentin, which is like they're good at treating the neuropathic pain. But in my experience, every single tablet I've ever had has a side effect, and it could just be that I've had so many tablets that I'm not very good at taking tablets now, and I get the side effects. So, like for example, tramadol is one of the basic sort of opioid tablets you get. It makes it feel like there's ants under my skin, gives me a headache. Paracetamol gives me a headache. The only one that doesn't give me... No, actually, gabapentin did give me a headache. All painkillers seem to give me a headache. Now, at least, anyway. And if I had a headache and I took a painkiller, it wouldn't make it go anymore. Nothing stops headaches anymore. Gabapentin made me feel like I couldn't breathe. I had a headache, but I felt breathless. After a few days, I felt breathless. I felt sick. I felt very unwell on gabapentin, so I had to stop taking it. I only took that for about a month, and I just felt ill for the entire month. Really, really bad for an entire month. Moving on to things like, say, opioid tablets, they literally I feel like something's under my skin, crawling around under my skin. The other problem with opioids is they're addictive. So if you take an opioid tablet for more than 6 weeks, I think, you become addicted to it. And moving from tramadol to another opioid-based tablet, I forget, it's got the name of a K or something. I was sort of craving the tramadol a little bit. Like I kind of felt, when I gave up smoking, that kind of antsy sort of feeling. But again, didn't really stop much pain and made me feel awful. Like I literally felt like something was under my skin all the time. Ibuprofen-based tablets. So I was taking something called diclofenac. I was on that for a year so I was taking cocodamol, Nurofen, ibuprofen-based tablet, and something else. So I was having these 3 things for about a year. And because I suddenly developed this asthma, wheezy chest, cough for an entire year, like really wheezy chest for a year. I was also taking steroids to stop happening. So I was taking like 23 tablets a day. I just felt lousy for an entire year. Anyway, I'd read then ibuprofen can give you asthma symptoms. Stop taking it. And literally, and I mean literally within 2 weeks, it'd gone. So I could stop taking steroids. So I just I'm very, very opposed now to taking prescription medication. They seem to come with side effects that they're not worse than the pain, but they don't really block the pain. They just seem to give me loads of different weird side effects. So I'm in a lot of pain. I want to try and deal with it. And I started looking into cannabis, and cannabis started off with CBD oil because I'd read that potentially that might help. CBD is so in cannabis, you've got two active ingredients, THC and CBD. So CBD is legal because it doesn't come with the high. So I bought some CBD oil and I used it in a vape pen. No effect whatsoever. Tried it topically, no effect whatsoever. No effect. It didn't do anything anyway. Tried drops under the tongue, put it in my food. Anyway, no effect. So I just thought, right, sod it, I'm going to buy some cannabis. After speaking to a friend of mine, I've got a friend who's a doctor and a friend who's a nurse. They're married, actually. They're together. And I spoke to them, and they said that actually it's probably the THC, which is the pain blocking part. And so I started looking into it. But before I took any, I wanted to look into it. I've never really been a drug taker in my life, and not really something I've ever done. I used to get stoned when I was younger, but that'd be about it. Wasn't like right into it. Anyway, I've never taken any other drugs. No cocaine, no anything, no E's or whatever it was. I was around in the rave era as well, so I never took anything. So I wanted to know how it worked and what it did. And now, so the types of pain, you've got nociceptive, neuropathic, and this other one. Nociceptive is where you get a swelling if you get injured. The pain that's the most understood, that's the best way of saying it. So it's the one that you seem to be able to treat better with tablets. But what THC and CBD do is they work together, and so I waffle on a little bit. Let me tell you what these things do. Basically, you have anti-inflammatory properties in THC and CBD, and those inflammatory responses are driven by CB2 receptors in your immune cells. And what THC and CBD do is they dampen the body's pain-inducing response to that injury. So the CBD specifically blocks inflammatory mediators and shifts the activation of your macrophage repair cells from pro-inflammatory to anti-inflammatory. And the THC and CBD on nociceptive pain have been really well documented in rodent models and inflammation in human trials, which is the important part. Back to me. Help with pain in that way. They reduce the inflammation, which is what Nurofen does. With nerve damage, so the way that this is going to be a strange thing to say, but pain isn't real. Pain is in your brain. Pain is your brain interpreting signals, chemicals that come to it, and telling you it's pain. So you have cells in your brain that are working together to say, oh yeah, this is pain, this means this means that, and they're sending signals to each other. If you can mute those signals, you can block pain. What CBD does and THC is they block those chemicals. They don't block them entirely, but they stop those chemicals from communicating with each other as well, and they really mute pain. You also get high. It's great. I like being high. It's really nice. There's nothing wrong with it, and I'm not saying it's bad to be high, but the effects last more than the high. So I'll explain that shortly. And then there's this central pain. So think of fibromyalgia, okay? Both my friends, the doctor and the nurse, they say if they get a patient that has fibromyalgia, they think loony. Whereas what I think is that it's not understood. So if someone's living their life in pain, some people don't ruin their own lives, stop going to work and live in poverty through choice. That is not something you do. You don't do that. So people with fibromyalgia aren't going to work for a reason. They are in pain for a reason. They call it kind of central pain. If we lump that in with things like Parkinson's and other stuff, it helps with that pain as well. But that pain isn't understood by doctors, so I don't really get how it blocks things. If you're in chronic pain, that's pain that's lasting more than 3 months. It's called chronic pain. If you're in chronic pain in the UK, those are your options. There aren't really many options to you. But if you don't mind breaking the law a little bit, or if you've come to the end of your tether and you're like, I don't care about the law, this is inhumane, you can contact in your area a cannabis compassion club. You'll find one, search on Facebook. There's quite a few around the country. And they can put you in touch with people that can supply you cannabis. Now, I bought some flower. It's a lemon kush. It's a sativa indica hybrid. So it's 30% sativa, 70% indica. It has a very mellow high. It doesn't make you feel really stoned and stuff. I suppose it depends on how much you smoke. But it immediately, 10, 15 minutes after you've taken it, the pain just gets blanketed. It's like someone's put a wet blanket over a fire. So they're still there. There's still that. You can still feel it. You still know not to do something stupid. Although I was kicking my leg up a little bit, actually. You know not to do stupid things. Some people I know have had epidurals in the past to help with their back pain. And then they carry on doing so. They go back to work and they start lifting slabs and stuff. Well, they're just causing more damage to the damaged area. So once that epidural dies off, they're back to square one. This doesn't make you do anything silly. It makes you eat a bit. I'll be honest. It does make me get munchies really bad. But it blankets the pain. Now, the pain is very muted for that evening. Okay, go to sleep. Have a proper night's sleep. If you're in a lot of pain, every time you turn in the night, you wake up and you fully wake up because the pain goes through you and you're awake. And then you've got to try and fall back asleep again. And the problem of falling asleep when you're in pain is the pain starts to get really focused and it's hard to fall back to sleep. I slept right through properly, had a whole night's sleep. I woke up so it's Saturday night I had some. I woke up on Sunday morning. My muscles were relaxed. I felt relaxed all day. The pain was still muted a little bit. Not massively, but if you know, I've got 2 small children I live with, so I can't do this all the time. I have to wait until they're in bed or they're not going to be here for the evening or something. And I am trying to do this I'm trying to get the dose right. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to work out what a dose is and how often I can have it. I would like to be able to get to a point where I can have it every day, not get high, but block the pain. So finding that level is going to be really difficult because obviously I had too much on Saturday because I got high, but it did blanket the pain. So I've got to try and reduce it. I'm measuring the amount I'm having, but in working with a lot of unknowns, I don't know how strong these plants are in particular. It's like chilies. If you had 2 chilies from the same plant, one could be really hot, one could be quite mild. So I there's a lot of unknowns with it as well and variables, but I'm trying to be quite measured. I'm trying to write down my pain level before, my pain level during, my pain level after, and writing down how I feel when that goes up. I'm trying to do it on a scale of 1 to 10, but obviously it's really subjective. It's how I feel that day. The other effect that it has is if you're in a lot of pain, your serotonin levels drop, which is the thing that makes you depressed. So I suffer with depression quite badly. I've been in this major depression for a long time now. I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm not playing online with my friends. I don't want to go in Discord and get into a conversation with anyone about anything. I don't want to hear about them. I don't want to think about myself. It's not a very nice place to be, but that's how I've been feeling, just really depressed. And what it does, it also increases your serotonin levels, so it brings you up. Now I take antidepressants, and they're just there to balance you out. I take those, and at the moment I take those and omeprazole. Omeprazole is to protect my stomach from all the bad, because I just messed my stomach up taking tablets for so many years. And I take sertraline, which increases my serotonin, and these mint oil tablets, which apparently you take if you've got IBS. I don't. They make your breath smell nice. That's the prescription medication that I'm taking. And the thing is, that is metered, dosed. That has been in clinical trials for ages and worked out by a doctor. What I don't understand is why cannabis isn't going through the same trials in the UK. November 2018, it became legal to prescribe cannabis by some doctors to certain people for specific ailments. Pain isn't one of them, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous that isn't actually one of the trials. And there's this thing called Sativex, which is this, so it's obviously a sativa thing, I suppose. It's a spray that goes into the tongue. It's £300. Now, Nicole and I had to think very long and hard about me getting some pain relief because I had to spend 30 quid. £30 got me 2.5 ounces or grams. I don't know what it was anyway. I got some stuff. But it was 30 quid. 30 quid's a lot of money to us. An awful lot of money to us. That was a very big decision whether we had to do that or we've had to reduce our food budget basically for me to have this. So it's a real impact on my family. I'm not happy about that. But the pain relief, to me, right now, the way I feel, the pain relief that's come from it was worth it. It was worth doing. Can I afford to do that every month? Probably not. Probably not. I don't think. I mean, we've kind of had to go without stuff, but it's because we had things like washing powder. We had washing powder that gets through. We had, or the thing we used. We had some cleaning products that would last. So I don't think we'll be able to afford it next month. So I've now got this little bag of weed that I've got to try and make last 2 months. So I'm trying to be really careful about when and how and what I use it. I'm trying to make sure that I'm monitoring what I'm doing, and I will do an update video to let you know what I found. But I weigh a lot. I'm heavy. I'm a big guy. I've got quite a good tolerance to alcohol, so I don't know what my tolerance to weed is like, if it's the same sort of thing. So I could be completely different to somebody else. So this needs to be done on a massive trial, and it needs to be worked out. How is this working? What is it doing? I mean, I think the effects are known. The THC and the CBD, they do work in really good ways, but obviously you can abuse cannabis. But my thought on that is that you can abuse anything, can't you? You know, I had opioids in my house, really strong opioids, which are like a morphine, which is like a heroin is the same is an opioid. Heroin's a brand name of a specific type of opioid. So, you know, and they're addictive. I don't think there's any proof that cannabis is actually addictive. I don't think there's any evidence of it. I think maybe psychologically it's addictive, but if you're psychologically addicted to something, you'll be psychologically addicted to lots of different things, I suspect. So more research needs to be done, but I think cannabis needs to be made legal, and I'm going to be a part of telling people about it in the UK. I'm going to make sure that I put more videos up about cannabis and the types of cannabis I'm using, how I'm smoking it. I don't smoke cigarettes. I have something called, I'll put a link to it. It's called a Hebe Titan 2, and it's a dry herb burner. It works quite well. There are better ones, but I mean, this is like 20 quid from Amazon. So it's not an expensive item, whereas others are like 70 or 80. If you don't smoke, this is probably the best way of doing it, because it burns the herbs. You breathe in the thing, but it doesn't burn. There's no smoke, there's no anything, unless you, at the end when it's all sort of burnt up and you smoke too much, it hurts your throat a little bit. But if you do smoke, then it's not going to be a problem for you, because you can put it into like roll-up cigarettes, or you can have it in a bong and you can get it into your system that way. Or the other way I was doing it previously to this was eating it, baking it into flapjacks. But again, you're then working with an unknown. You don't know how much THC and CBD are in each slice. This shouldn't be for a one person to be conducting a clinical trial on his own, on himself. It's a really odd thing to do. But I don't want to just be a stoner who's just getting stoned for the sake of it. I'm using this as a tool to stop my pain. But again, I'm very restricted. I live with 2 children. I don't want them seeing me doing drugs or knowing that I've taken drugs. It's a drug, you know. But it's okay for me to get pissed or to have take tablets in front of them, but not this thing. There's a stigma to it, and that should go. That should be gone, because it is actually really beneficial. It really helps. I wouldn't feel like this today had I not done that on Saturday. It's Monday now, and I'm still having. I would say from Friday, my pain levels were about an 8 or 9 for me, about an 8 or a 9. Today, I am at a 4 or 5. Saturday, I would have said I was at like a 2 or 3 when I had it, maybe even a 1. It was really muted. I was very able to cope with it. Sunday was even Sunday, I felt really relaxed. My muscles feel relaxed, is what it is. I don't feel like I'm as tight, and I feel like I've got a little bit more hope. I think it's because it's there, and I know I can take the pain away a little bit. I can have a day off. That's real nice. If you're in a lot of pain all the time, imagine if I could say, "Oh, you can have a day off now. Go and do something nice. Have a day off and go for a walk with your kids, or go and kick a ball around with your boy." When I say that, I get a lump in my throat thinking about just doing something nice with my son. Yeah, I love my daughter as well. Don't get me wrong, but he wants to play football. He wants to do rough and tumble stuff, and I can't do it. But the thought of me being able to do that would be it's just so nice. If I could take a tablet, and it might make me feel a little bit. If it made me feel stoned, it wouldn't be a problem. I don't act strange when I'm stoned. I don't think you would know. Well, you would. I look at that. And I watch TV and eat too much. Hey, it worked. So anyway, look, thanks for watching this video. If you are in a lot of pain and you want to talk about cannabis a bit more, we can have a chat in the comment section. If it gets kicked off of YouTube for whatever, because it's illegal, we can find somewhere else to talk about it. But search out Cannabis Compassion Club. They'll help you find clubs in your area that you can go to and speak to people, and you'll find that the people there are normal, ordinary people. It's not like druggies and drug dealers and stuff like that. It's normal people that are fed up of the hypocrisy of and the inhumanity of letting us live in pain because they think they don't know what they're talking about. Politicians, that is. They don't know what they're talking about. So they pass a law and they make it so restrictive that nobody can get prescribed. And unless there's a lot of money to be made in selling cannabis to us or the NHS, they won't let that pass either. So it's got to be about money and about things, when actually, in fact, it should be about humanity and taking away the pain for a lot of people in the UK. Anyway, I love you. You're really great people. Thanks for watching this video. Should be another video up today, which will be another episode of Satisfactory. No one's watching it. I'm all right with that. Yeah, I'm doing it for love now. I love it. Love you. Bye.
Yeah, goodbye. Yeah.